I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In the UK. Thank you for joining me today. Today's make is definitely a wow on the inside. It uses some new designer series paper called Wonderful World that is coming very soon to you from the 1st of July, I think it is, and you can earn it free. So Stampin' Up! Do this really brilliant thing called Celebration. It's running from the 1st of July to the 31st, and in this little brochure is lots of free goodies you can earn with a qualifying spend. Here in the UK that's £45, so every time you spend £45 you can choose something free. Perfect, isn't it? So we're going to use some of that paper today. This is the card that we're going to make. It's one of those ones that is lovely on the outside, but just remove this belly band, which is very simple to make, and open it up. Ready? Ta-da! Okay, so this is called a pop-up explosion card. Now, I have decorated it a bit, but not too much that it's going to put you off. You can go wild with it. You can decorate it as much as you want. There's a lovely triangle here that you could put a panel on, a triangle here. It's all up to you. I've actually layered the background as well, just so that when you open it visually, it's more pleasing to the eye. And I've put some designer series paper on the front, but again, that's your choice. Isn't the paper beautiful? So what's good about the Stampin' Up! Paper is that it's always double-sided. So if I show you a bit more of this Wonderful World paper, for example. So one side is sort of bigger patterns and the other side is smaller. And this one, for instance, which we might be using next, I'm not sure. That's got a lovely floral on one side and it's got a coordinating colour on the back. So you really don't need too much paper. If you've got one 12 by 12, you'll be set. So the one that I'm going to use for the card today, let me put through the details of what you need. You just need a piece of card and a piece of designer paper, and we'll be away. Okay, so I am going to make it this time in Rich Raspberry, which is this colour. Not sure if it's showing up that well on camera. It's quite a bright day here where I live, so I get a bit of reflection, but it's sort of like a purpley colour, a pinky purple colour. And then I've chosen this sheet from the Wonderful World paper just because it's really florally, but the other side really coordinates nice with the paper as well. So hopefully it will come out a really nice make. The only other thing that I've used, let me get them over, is I've used some of the scalloped contours dies. Now, how have I used them? So on the front I've layered them. So if I turn them over, let's just jiggle them a bit so you can see them. I've used that one and that one. So the two from small going up, it's the first two sizes that I've used. And then actually on the inside, although it's a square, what I've done is use this one. So if I bring it back over, but I've just die cut it at the side so that I've got a square. If there's time, I'll show you how to do that as well. But I just think it makes the middle really pop. So that's how I've done that. I have got square dies, but I just fancied having that detail going around the sides. So those ones are the scalloped contour dies. But you don't need to use them. You can just have a bit of card and a bit of paper and you can still make it wow. So let's move that out the way. Right, shall we concentrate on the card base first? Okay, what do we need to do? You need to take your A4 standard sheet, okay, and you are going to cut it on the short side. So this side here, put that at the top, and you're cutting it at 5 3/4. 5 inches. So the whole length. Now this piece here, you can cut that off at 1 inch, just a long strip that's 1 inch wide, and that will be your belly band in a minute. So short side, 5 3/4. Now turn it round to the long side, and this time you want to cut it at 11 1/2. So 11 1/2, which on my piece is not much of a sliver off at all, just that tiny bit. We definitely don't need that. I may even be brave and put it in the bin. Now, concentrate on your long side. We're going to do some scoring. The first one we're going to do is 2 7/8. So 2 7/8. And I'm going to just score it there. Make sure that your cutting blade is out of the way. Then what I'm going to do is flip it round and score on the other end at 2 7/8. Okay, 2 7/8. Now at this stage it doesn't matter which way round your card is, because it's just a plain card and it's the same both sides. There's no up, no down. You don't need to worry about pattern. So I'm just going to mark it. So I'm going to slide it along. I've just done the score at 2 7/8. I'm going to slide it along until I get to 5 3/4. Now I'm using an embossing tool that I've got. You can use your pokey tool, that's got an embossing end on it. I've mislaid mine. It's there somewhere, but for the purposes of this I thought it was more speedier to go and get an old tool. So we are going to mark it at 5 3/4, and we're going to do it at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to use my cutting lane as my guide. You could do this with a pencil. You're not really going to see this mark, it's just going to guide your eye when you stick everything together. So 5 3/4, I'm just doing a little mark on the edge here where the cutting line is, 5 3/4. Okay, so if I move that out of the way for a minute. So just to recap, you've got a piece of card that is 5 3/4 by 11 1/2. On the long side, you've scored it at 2 7/8 either end, so you can see those two panels. And then in the middle, we've done a little mark top and bottom at 5 3/4. And that's basically going to be our gatefold card. It's going to be our base of our card. So what I'm going to do is just fold that in place now. While I'm doing that, I'm checking to make sure that my gatefold card meets in the middle. Doesn't overlap, meets. So I will do that, and then I will get my bone folder and just burnish it and make sure that those sides, that it's happy. So mine is slightly overlapping, so I'm just going to help it to go back a little bit. Okay, so that you've got that nice coming together of your gatefold. And that's that bit done for now. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side. Now I'm going to bring over my designer series paper. I need to cut this exactly the same. So thinking about which way round your paper is. So I'm going to cut mine this way at 5 3/4. So I'm doing it this way round so that my paper is the right way round. Okay, so that bit is not wanted. This bit's 5 3/4 because I know it's going to be upright like that. And then on the long side, I'm just going to cut it at 11 1/2, exactly the same as we did just now. So 11 1/2. Again, it's this very small bit you're cutting off. This time it's just 1/2 inch, and you're not going to need that. Okay, so you've got a piece like this now. Now, on the other one, we did a couple of scoring lines and a mark. We're going to do exactly the same again. So you are going to score it at 2 7/8 on either side. Make sure that cutting blade is out the way. 2 7/8. And I'm just going to burnish that while I've got it. Okay, I'm going to spin it round and do it at 2 7/8 again. Beautiful paper, isn't it? Very spring summery like. Quite nice for a wedding or an anniversary card, don't you think? Really beautiful. So I've got a score line either side, and now I just need to do the middle mark. So the middle mark was at 5 3/4. So I'm just going to do a little mark there. Again, you can do this in pencil if you want, if it helps you see it. It's just a guide. Now there's a couple of ways you could do this. You could just fold it, which I'll do on one side so that shows you. So where your mark is here and here, you're going to bring this over. So I've got my piece of paper like that. I'm looking for that mark, and I'm going to bring this corner to that mark, okay? So I'm just going to turn it so I can figure it out. And I'm just looking to make sure that my paper is lined up, okay? So that's one, okay, like that. And it gives you that diagonal line there. And then what you do then is bring the other corner down to the mark. So having trouble seeing that mark now. Where is it? Because this is very pretty paper. So I think it's there. Yeah. So it's going to go there, or thereabouts. Before I press it down, I'm going to make sure that it's in line, which it isn't. That's it. So I'm just pressing it down with my fingers, using my bone folder just to confirm that press. Okay, so you've got this shape here. Now, if you don't like the idea of folding it, you can do it on your scorer. And the way you do that, if I just thread that through there, so you've got your score line here, that's your 2 7/8, and if you go along until you get the little mark that you did at 5 3/4 there, so we're going to turn your paper, so make sure that this mark is lined up with the running blade, and then make sure that this point, let's bring that over, this point here is lined up at the bottom. So that's lined up there, that's lined up there, and you score it. So I'm not sure if you can see that, so I'm just going to move it down a bit. Okay, so I've gone from this point here to the middle mark that I did, and I've just scored it. Okay, so it's the same as folding it, I'm just using my trimmer. So now I'm going to spin it this way and do the same again. So I need to find that middle mark. I need to find the point here, up here. So make sure that's on the runner. And then the centre mark is I'm just going to have to move it because my tripod is in the way. Let's move that out so I can see. So that one is there. Okay, just making sure that that's lined up. And then I'm going to do it this way and just making sure that that's lined up as well. Okay. Ta-da. And believe it or not, that is it. Okay. So if you open it back out, what you can see is a diamond shape here, and 2 triangles either side. So if you keep hold of the diamond shape, just press it down, bring the top in like so, so that triangle automatically wants to come there. Push this one in with your finger there, and then that should just fold in like so. And if you just get your bone folder and just smooth it so it's flat, you're just giving your paper a memory of where you want it to be folded. Okay, so that's that side. Now do the same with this side. You've got half of your diamond showing. One side wants to come in like so, like that. The other side, just give it a little bit of a tuck. Fold that over and that should join together. And then again, just confirm with the paper where you want those folds to be. So it's nice and flat. And you've got a diamond now like that. Okay? So if we bring this piece back over, put this to one side, because actually I want to decorate the back so that when I open it, it's all pretty. So we're going to put a square on the back of there, and that needs to be 5 5/8 by 5 5/8. So we're just going 1/8 of an inch smaller on the square. 5 5/8. 5 5/8. Okay, so that's that piece. And then I'm going to do the same for the sides. And they need to be 2 5/8. Just be careful about which way round you're cutting the paper. Learn from my mistakes is what I'm saying. 5 5/8. Because at the moment I've only got one pack of this paper and I have cut it several times. So that's there, 5 5/8. So another one is 2 5/8. So out of one sheet, I've decorated the back of the card and done a lovely wow on the inside. So nearly there. Okay. Right, so if I bring that in, do I want the floral on the back, or do I want the other side, just the pattern? Because although it doesn't show up so much there, when I open it, yeah, so that's sort of decided me. I need to put it that way down. So where's my glue? Tombow glue. Such a shame to cover up these beautiful flowers, but we're not going to think about it too much. Just going to stick that on the back piece, like so. And it just has enough of a border round by just doing it 1/8 of an inch smaller. So that's that. And then the side panels, now do they need to be? No, I actually think they need to be the other side as well. So cover up the flowers again. Oh my goodness, I definitely need to get some more of this paper. I can see some lovely wedding cards being made with it. So that is just going along there. And then this is the other side. We're nearly there. Super quick card to make, but super stunning. Okay, that one goes there. Could make some really nice vintage cards with this as well, I think. Okay, so at the moment I'm not going to decorate my front, just because you don't need to watch me doing that, but it would be exactly the same size for the outside, so it would be 2 5/8 by 5 5/8. Yeah, I'm not going to do it, no. I nearly did then. So, back to how we stick this in. Now, yes, we could just guess and put it in, But do you remember that little mark we made, top and bottom? What we're going to do is stick our diamond in with the aid of that. Okay, so we're going to turn it over so you haven't got the opening, you've just got the back side. We're going to put some Tombow glue or whatever your chosen adhesive is on the back. Okay, and I am going to try and line it up with that mark. Okay, now before I press it too much, I'm just going to make sure that the gatefold hides this bit, which it does on that side, it does on that side, so I'm very happy, and I'm just going to press that down. Now these two triangles, just putting some glue on those, on that side, ta-da, just to make sure that's all over, and then this side, and we are nearly there. Okay, that side, so if I hold that down and bring that over, like so. Okay, now the proof is in the pudding. Are you ready? Or should I give it an extra count of 5? I take 3, 4, 5. I've never been good with patience. Ta-da! Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love it. So you can't really see from the angle, but it is stunning. The paper is stunning. The card make is just such a wow, and much easier than it first looks. Ta-da! So if you have liked this tutorial and you fancy doing some more wow on the inside cards, I've got a whole playlist full of them. Just go have a look. None of them are really tricky. I try and explain it as best I can and make it easier for you. It's so nice to give a card that's very special, especially when you've taken the time and effort. So if I bring this one back in as well, so that's what that one looked like. I just finished the outside with those panels, and the belly band was just a band of 1-inch card that's just wrapped round. I've added those 2 dies to the front, the same as I will with these. Just layered them up and stuck them on. What have I forgotten? The stamp set I used on this was Peaceful Moments, and the one on the inside was Nature's Prints, just because I am loving the font on those. But I'm sure you've got loads in your stack. Go have a play and use up some of that beautiful paper. Happy crafting! Thanks for watching everyone, and I will see you soon.